In this demo, we'll showcase using Valid8 for 5G network security testing, specifically testing the AMF as the device under test. Here's a Chrome browser running our software, the Valid8 software, which is running on a VM. If we click load here with the appropriate configuration, which matches the environment that we're testing, this is going to bring up the Valid8 test tool in conjunction with the NRF and also the AMF under test. So as these things are instancing here, we see them visually here in the UI. The AMF tester component is the active test case that we're going to select. Now this has a ability to then choose like different test suites that we have on here. This one's the security test suite. And the tests we're going to be running are coming from the SCAP TS33512. There are many other specs as well that we're working on and we have in our product as an option. We're going to be focusing on the AMF for this demo. You select a test case like this. You can select a batch of them. It's all REST API controllable to put into your automations, so Jenkins or other orchestrators. By clicking on the edit button, we open up the tab here that shows the test case in the graphical view. The nodes are across the top, the different interactions between things like UDM, AUSF, and so on, and the N2 interface. The test this is a stateful language as part of the Valid8 tool. And so you have the state transitions here and possible inputs. What happens is after we've initialized the test, it sends a setup request, and then from GNOB to the AMF responds with setup response, and then we send a registration request and look for the authentication aspects and check that. So if everything goes as planned, we get a pass verdict at the end. If it fails for any reason, either a timeout, unexpected message, unexpected criteria, that will feed into a fail result. There's also a text view that gives you a full test purpose coming from the spec and the test content itself. So we have Wireshark running over here for just a visual of what's happening between the AMF and NRF and AUSF GNOB nodes. You can see all that as that's happening live. And when we're ready, then we start the test by pressing start. What this now does is going to kick off the test that we saw in the visual view earlier, starting with the ng setup request from GNOB to AMF to just bring the link up cleanly, and then registration request that triggers a whole bunch of stuff within the core between AMF, UDM, AUSF, returning a authentication request, followed by an authentication failure with the sync failure. You can check all the detail if you want to inside of the NAS PDU. You can see all that challenge fail, and then also the HTTP2 message as well to show that corresponding HTTP flow. When the test is done, it goes back to the not running state. The test is complete. If we look at the report, you can drill down to see all what happened. One pass shows you the pass-fail for the test. Now this is also measuring all kinds of things. It can count any messages that happen inside of the system, and it can grade, and it grades the response times and other metrics that happen during the test. So we're taking into account the response time of the request response times for the N2 NAS messages, and we can do that for any of the interactions. And this all feeds back into the test case result compared to the threshold that you set. So regardless of of which criteria the tests are looking for, the Valid8 tool can handle that and calculate not only was the signaling correct view, but also how was the timing, and feed that into the pass-fail result. We also have a event view here which shows you what happened inside the system. You can see messages coming in and interacting inside of the system. There's also an event view, and so all these EXR, all these different views here are useful for looking at the different results and as the test runs, the data that comes in. Thank you.